Wash and goes were killing my length, so I had to switch things up. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a nice wash and go, and I feel like this summer I really figured out what worked for my hair. But on the other hand, I think the styling manipulation and single strand knots are what caused my hair to plateau for these last few months. Now, I'm not saying that I'll never do them again, because I definitely will be, but I just won't be doing them back to back. So to get my hair back on track, I'll be resetting with mini twists. If you know, you know, mini twists are one of the best protective styles because your ends stay tucked and sealed, which means way less breakage and fewer single strand knots. They also help my hair hold on to moisture better, and they're super low maintenance and low manipulation, which is perfect for my busy life because sometimes I just need a break from my hair. Before installing these, I went in with a clarifying shampoo to make sure I was starting on a clean base. Then I followed up with my favorite deep conditioner and made sure my hair was thoroughly detangled and twisted up. I decided to do these twists on blown out hair because I wanted to try braiding the root, and I knew trying that on blown out hair would make the process so much easier, especially since I'm not a good braider. And it's also easier to part my hair when it's stretched as well. I apply a Mika the Wizard on each section before going in with my Rev-Air, and I just love my Rev-Air because I have very fine hair and traditional blow dryers would just snag and break my ends so easily, but the Rev-Air makes this process so seamless and way faster. With my hair all prepped and stretched, I jumped right into the installation, which is the most time-consuming part. I really wanted these to look neat, so I really took my time and tried to part my hair as perfect as I could. It's kind of ironic that I create hair content, but I am no hairstylist. I'm just learning and experimenting as I go, just showing you guys that you don't need to be a pro to properly care for your natural hair. So anyways, to actually install these, I started by applying some edge booster edge control at the root for that neat look. And then from there, I braided about a quarter of the way down and applied some Miche gel to foam mousse on the rest of the hair before twisting the rest of the way down. I tried a couple twists with cream instead of a mousse, and I had more length, but the hair was giving boneless. If you have fine hair, 100% use a mousse for twists, and that's it. If you use a gel, a cream, or a butter, you'll probably find that your hair has more length, but it has a kind of a boneless look. And with fine hair, you want your hair to puff up as much as possible. I'm about to take a break and make some dinner. My back is hurting. I'm tired. I may or may not finish tonight. It is 6:10, so I'm really about to just relax. And I plan to wake up early tomorrow around 8 o'clock and just knock it out. I just have the front pieces, which tend to go pretty fast. Watching this whole process back honestly has me so tired all over again because let's be real, sometimes the hardest part of natural hair isn't the styling, it's hyping yourself up to actually do it. This whole process took me about 7 to 8 hours, not counting breaks, so best believe these twists are staying in for at least a month. Ooh, I can't believe I just finished these mini twists in one day. I felt like it was just gonna bother me if I didn't finish. But no, seriously, I love how these turned out, especially given the last time I did twists, they did not look like this. So I was super excited to just see the finished product. But let's get into my maintenance and how I wash them and maintain them throughout the week. We're about a week in now, and my scalp was pretty itchy with buildup from the gym, so it was time for a wash. I kept my products very hydration focused, and while washing, I made sure to not scrub too aggressively at the parts or disturb the twist. So immediately after washing, I really saturated my hair with leave-in conditioner, focusing on my ends especially. Then I went in with mousse on top of my hair, on the length of my hair, to help fight the frizz. Then I sat under the dryer until my hair was about 90% dry. Since this was my first wash with these twists, I wasn't really sure what to expect. But even though I had more frizz than I wanted, I didn't have any tangling at the roots this time, so it was definitely a win for me. I will say braiding the roots is a huge game changer. We're now 3 weeks into the mini twist, and I decided to do my very first touch up. I've also decided to extend my wash days to every 2 weeks instead of weekly to hopefully help cut down on frizz. Here's how I've been maintaining my twist and keeping my hair moisturized throughout the week. I decided to pull out my steamer to help the product really absorb into my hair. This step is super unnecessary. I was just being extra this day. Instead of doing a complete retwist, I focused on the crown, the middle part, and the nape. These are the areas that I think people see first, and I just wanted to redo those because it looked like I had them in for like 6 months. And this process was super seamless because I braided the root, you guys. When I tried to do this in my last set, OMG, my hair was so matted. But because I braided the root, the twist came out so easily. So yeah, after I retwisted those areas, I then went in with a little bit of leave-in conditioner over the length of my hair, focusing on the ends again. Then I sprayed my scalp with rosemary water, which really helps with itching and any inflammation. And then to top it off, I applied a little bit of Blue Magic specifically on the ends to really seal them and lock that moisture in. I typically do this about once a week, in the middle of the week, towards the end of the week, and it's been working really well for me. At night, I'll sometimes add a little mousse on top to help with frizz, and then I'll band my hair into 2 sections with silk scrunchies. Then I just tie my scarf on, my bonnet on, and I'm good to go. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys' support. I hope you were able to take something from this video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.